Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another daily transfer update. Apologies for not being about yesterday. It wasn't actually much news going on at all yesterday. We had very, very little. Obviously, we had news of a new sleeve sponsor for the rest of the season to then sponsor the training kit for next season. Other than that, there wasn't an awful lot going on. Today, there is much more going on. Big up to everyone that is locked in, hour earlier than usual, so I appreciate you all being here. We've got quite a lot to get through. Obviously, in terms of the club itself, Blueco have had further talks and they want to add clubs in Portugal, Belgium and South America to the multi-club group. Obviously, we've got to find somewhere to send all these kids. Conor Gallagher is set to stay and fight for his place. He refused to go in the summer and he's making it clear that he wants to stay again this time round. Bayern Munich are now back in again for Trevor Chalobah. Chelsea need to sell for profit and sustainability rules. So, yeah, let's wait and see what happens with that one. Maatsen has made it clear to Chelsea that he only wants to go to Dortmund. So negotiations between the clubs are continuing, but Chelsea want an obligation to buy. It's just a loan. We have got also news that Chelsea are very close to signing 18-year-old striker Milos Lukovic from the Serbian league, and he'll end up going straight to Strasbourg. Another one, as they say. Possibly if Maatsen leaves, Chelsea may well look for a new left back this month, potentially, but it's likely to be more of a summer thing. So, guys, there are loads to get into. Chelsea also do not need to sell to buy. They potentially need to sell to make themselves a bit more compliant with the Premier League's profit and sustainability rules, but they do not need to sell to buy. That is the truth. That's coming from David Ornstein. So Chelsea are not in a position where they have to sell to buy. Thomas Frank said as well that Ivan Toney is definitely staying. And it needs an unbelievable price for him to leave, which basically means over 100 million, I would have thought, which I don't think anyone's going to pay. Arsenal certainly won't pay that. Whether we would or not, I mean, we probably would, to be fair, because of the situation we're in. But again, it makes it very likely that Toney is actually going to leave this month from Brentford. I suspect he will end up staying until the summer. And I think he owes it to Brentford. They've stuck by him through this scandal. They're struggling now. They're going to need a little bit of a favour from him to bring themselves back up the table. I'm just not sure if he's in a position just to walk away and leave like that. But who knows? Who knows? A big up to everyone that's locked in. Smash the likes on the stream. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here and all that good stuff. Let's run this up to at least 50 likes, guys. We're on 13 already. So if you're not smashed that like button, it's free and it takes seconds. So please do that. And also, feel free to use the super chat function if you want to guarantee your comment getting read out in the chat. So let's say hello to a few people in the chat first, and then we'll dive into the news. If we bring a new left back, I don't want them to be in. No, we need to find a Malo Gusto type, but in the left back situation. We can't get Toney. He's not for sale. Everyone's for sale. Everyone's got their price, but it's an unrealistic price. Mbappe is never coming to Chelsea. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Nkunku will play as centre forward for some of these games this month, 100%. Nkunku can play better as a number 10. Yeah, no, he can. He's obviously number 9 is not his prime position, but I think he can still do a good job as a number 9. I mean, obviously he came on against Luton and kind of played as the 9, but I think he barely touched the ball really, and we were bang up against it when he came on. Day 4 of the transfer window. Yeah, it's day 4. Chelsea going back in. I'm not sure we're going back in, but it's something that could most definitely be explored. That is very clear. Yes, big up my guy. Gallagher will fight all the way. He absolutely will. Gallagher is a better version of Mount. Let's have it right. Yeah, big up my guy. Look, a different player for sure. Gallagher, I think Mount's output for a couple of seasons was very good. Or certainly better than anyone else at Chelsea at the time. Gallagher, I think his off-ball attributes are great. On the ball, he's improved. But in terms of like output, I know he's not like an output player per se, but it would be good if he could chip in with a few goals and assists. Because when he was on loan at Palace, he was banging goals. I know he was playing more as like an out-and-out proper 10, and he's not necessarily doing that here. But if he could add a bit more output to his game, then we would be in a good situation. Yes, bro. Hope you're doing well. Hope things are good. Santos could be going to Hull City in a championship. Well, look, again, if Santos goes to a championship loan, as long as he goes somewhere where he's going to play every week, that for me is the most important thing. He must go somewhere where he's going to play more often than not. That's the key thing, is getting him exposure. But let's dive into the main. Let's start with a big sort of the news that has kind of come back again, as it were, and that is on Trevor Chalobah. And Bayern Munich are set to pursue long-standing interest in Trevor Chalobah. Chelsea need to sell for profit and sustainability rules, and Mauricio Pochettino's side wanting to make purchases of their own this January. We've also got other news on Chalobah that potentially Bayern might just want a straight loan. I don't know if that really makes an awful lot of sense. As it says here, Florian Plettenberg, a reliable reporter out in Germany, suggesting that there are new contacts. There's a new movement between Trevor Chalobah and Bayern Munich. There's contact now and talks and ideas about a loan. The problem is the only way a loan makes any sense in this situation, guys, is if there's an obligation to buy at the end. We don't just want to loan out Chalobah. Bayern gets 6 months of benefit, and then he comes back, and we're dealing with the same situation again in the summer. Yeah, it might be easier to deal with it in the summer, but I don't get it. I just don't understand it. Like, why would we sanction a straight loan? I get it. Chalobah wants to go and play football. He's not playing any football at Chelsea. Even if he ends up staying, he's simply not going to play. I'm not really too sure what's really happening with this thing. Like, the whole point for me is we should be selling Gallagher, but not Gallagher. Sorry, we should be selling Chalobah. And if we sanction just a straight loan, it's just a bit confusing. It's just a bit confusing. That doesn't benefit us in any way whatsoever. Just a straight loan. A loan with an obligation is fine because it's basically a permanent transfer. But I'm just a bit confused by it. I just don't know why we do it. We know that obviously Chalobah needs to go and play football. We know he needs to leave. We know that he's pure profit on the books and whatnot. How much he's really worth, who knows? He's not played for pretty much an entire 6 months. His value, unfortunately, is only going down, despite him being a good age, young, versatile player and whatnot. Like, a loan is just weird because all you're doing is kicking the problem 6 months down the line. It doesn't help Chelsea at all. It doesn't raise us any money. Yeah, you might get a small loan fee, 2 or 3 million quid. But like, that's not moving the needle for us. I mean, I wouldn't say a loan was awkward as such. It just means that, we're coming back in the summer, and there'll be more suitors in the summer potentially if he's had a good loan spell. But I don't want to feel like we're just helping out Bayern Munich for 6 months, and he comes back and we're like, yeah, like we've got the same situation again. We have to try and sell him. But it's clear that we know that Bayern are in the market for a centre half, but I don't think they want one on a permanent basis. They just need help to cover the injuries, which I get. But from our perspective, a straight loan makes no sense. A straight loan makes zero sense for this club right now. It really doesn't. I mean, I certainly wouldn't let Chalobah leave on loan with an obligation to buy. But then at the same time, if they're discussing a loan deal, then that's going to be interesting because we've got no international loan slots left. So what's going on there? All 7 of our international loan slots are taken up. So what are we possibly thinking about doing with Chalobah to try and free up another spot? What are we going to do? What are we going to do about how are we going to free up an international loan spot when we haven't got any? And they're talking about Chalobah potentially going on loan. So that's going to be interesting to see. That's going to be interesting to see what happens on that front, because I've got no idea. Maybe is someone's loan going to be terminated? Is someone going to come back? There were reports in Turkey saying that Galatasaray could look to terminate Ziyech's loan, but then the manager's come out and says that those reports are categorically not true. So, yeah, it feels a bit odd. It feels a bit odd, to be perfectly honest. Like, I don't know which direction this is going in, but it certainly feels like there's another twist or turn in this Chalobah thing. But Bayern Munich are back in contact with Trevor Chalobah. But unless there's an obligation in this, then like it makes zero sense whatsoever. So I don't know. I just don't know what the point of it is. For me, it's making very, very little sense. I mean, guys, let me know your thoughts in the chat, by the way. Would you be happy for Chalobah just to go on a straight loan and then come back in the summer? It doesn't make any sense for me. By the way, guys, as well, 30 of you in the building, only 17 likes. Let's bang these likes up. Come on, people. It's free. It takes seconds, and it's the quickest and easiest way to support the channel. So please, please, please smash that like button. Let's get these likes up. The 30 in the building, only 17 likes. That has got to improve as quickly as possible. So if you're locked in and you haven't clicked the like button, guys, what are you playing at? Please just smash it. Bro, we're not going to get Mbappe. Mbappe is not coming to Chelsea. That's also not true. We can spend money. We just need to sell a few players to kind of make sure. I mean, Chelsea believe they're fully compliant with the Premier League's profit and sustainability rules. But yeah, obviously they just want to make doubly sure. So a couple of sales this month would certainly go to ease that. Trev could end up a lone player of his career. No, I don't think he'll end up for the rest of his career. But like, I think for him, it would also make sense just to get rid of him. It would make sense to bin him off. Not loan, I would sell him. Agreed. His injury. I don't know if he's injury prone. There's a lot of people are saying that Chalobah's not actually injured. I don't know if I buy into that school of thought on that one, but it's certainly interesting, isn't it? Like, because originally when he got injured in pre-season, he was only going to be out for a month, and then he's not kicked a ball for us. He's not been in a squad. He's barely been pictured in any team training photos. Like, I don't know what's going on there, but I think for me, there's definitely more going on in regards to Chalobah than meets the eye. That much is clear. But let's wait and see what happens with this Trevor Chalobah stuff, because it's clear that there are contacts with Bayern Munich going on right now, potentially over a loan deal. I don't know how that's going to work. Are we going to recall someone from loan and send them on a domestic loan instead? We don't know. Let's just wait and see what happens on this one. But Bayern Munich, guys, are back in for Trevor Chalobah. They are back in for him. And this one, having died a bit of a death in the summer, now seems to be coming back to life again. So there's definitely one to watch. Let's see what happens with Trevor Chalobah and Bayern Munich. Thomas Tuchel looking to bring one of his former Chelsea players over to Munich on a potential loan deal. Let's see how that one goes down. Yes, Brian, big up my guy. Up the Chelsea, New York Blues. Yeah, big up to all the Chelsea fans out in New York. Appreciate the donation as always, my guy. Hope you're well and having a good day. Chukwuemeka has returned to team training. That's a big boost. I think Chukwuemeka could well make the bench for Preston. I don't think he'll be chucked straight in to start. That much is absolutely clear. Do I think that Chilwell will be involved? I would say less likely, but that there certainly could be an outside chance that both of them make the bench. Let's wait and see. Obviously, I'll be doing a Preston preview tomorrow, so we'll discuss more of that then. But yeah, absolutely, there could for sure be a possibility that they could be back. It's a sad one. I've always liked him as well. He's never done anything wrong. He's played wherever he's been asked to play. He's put in solid performances more often than not. I just think, look, unfortunately, probably the other players are better than him. You could argue, like, did we really need to go and sign Disasi? No, probably not. Is he that much better than Chalobah? Probably not really. But look, it's the way it goes. Chelsea clearly want to go down a different route. I just think it's becoming quite clear now as a pattern of this that we don't seem to be treating players that well. like we're not treating players well. So that would be more of a concern for me, that it appears we're just not treating players particularly well. But yeah, Trevor Chalobah and Bayern Munich, one to watch, absolutely one to watch. And let's kind of wait and see what happens on that front, guys. Let's move away from Trevor Chalobah and let's go on to another player who could well be on his way out of the football club, and that is Ian Maatsen. We spoke about this the other day that, Dortmund were keen on the fullback. And now, according to reports coming out of Germany, Ian Maatsen only wants to go to Borussia Dortmund, and he's told Chelsea this. Negotiations continue between the clubs, and Chelsea wants an obligation to buy if it's a loan. So Maatsen has made it clear to Chelsea then, guys, that he only wants to join Borussia Dortmund. That's fine, no problem. We now need to find a way that we can reach an agreement, whether it's a permanent transfer or whether it's a loan, but Chelsea want the obligation to buy. They want it to become a permanent transfer. So that we need to make sure that, that is inserted in there, and it's at a price that is fair. Burnley offered £31.5 million total package in the summer. I'm not saying we'll get that again, but let's see if we can. Let's see if we can get there. But Chelsea are willing to sell. I mean, we'll get into that in a second. But Ian Maatsen is heading towards the exit door. Ornstein adding that Maatsen's future looks like it could well be decided soon. So yeah, look, he's made it clear he wants to join Dortmund. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see how this one pans out. But I think everyone knows that Maatsen, unfortunately, surplus to requirements at Chelsea. Pochettino does not see him as a left back, and that's kind of that. Really, he's not getting in the team in the attacking positions. When he did get in there, I know he's not played a lot, and it's hard to make an impact when you've been out of the team so much. But he was absolutely awful against Crystal Palace when he started right wing. Ultimately, for me, he's just not good enough for Chelsea. He can go and have a very good career elsewhere, but I think he was overhyped in that season with Burnley. People, I think, have vastly underestimated how difficult it is to, make that step up from Championship football to Premier League football, particularly going from Burnley to Chelsea. He did well in pre-season. I think he would have left in the summer if he hadn't done as well in pre-season. But obviously, pre-season he played regularly and he did reasonably well. So he thought, let's give it 6 months and see what happens. But he's not good enough at the end of the day. And look, it's one of those where not every young player is going to be able to make it. Not everyone that comes through the academy will be able to make it. So yeah, let's wait and see how long it takes. But it looks like Ian Maatsen is taking a step closer to Borussia Dortmund. All that really needs to be sorted out is obviously a fee, if it's going to be a straight transfer this month, or what the obligation to buy is going to be at the end of the loan, what percentage of salary they might cover for this 6 months and all that jazz. But I think Ian Maatsen would do very well in Dortmund. Dortmund like to play attacking fullbacks. They play attacking football. They've got good wide players that he can link up with. The Bundesliga is good for young talents. Dortmund's one of the best places to go as a young player. So, yeah, for me, I see this working out as a pretty good move for Ian Maatsen, sort of in the next stage of his fledgling career. Still only 21 years of age. So, yeah, I don't really see it as a huge issue at all. So. Let's wait and see on that front. But Maatsen to Dortmund, guys, is definitely getting, one step closer. That much is absolutely clear. Ian Maatsen to Dortmund is taking a step closer. Just realistically, a fee needs to be sorted out. Guys, keep smashing the likes as well. We're 26 now. This has got to hit 50 minimum. Come on, people. What are you playing at here? Smash that like button. It's free, takes seconds. It's quick and easy to support the channel. It gets more eyes on the stream. It helps boost the content in the YouTube algorithm. If YouTube sees that the video is being liked a lot, then it will boost it out to more people, more eyes on the channel. It's free, guys. It's that bottom. It's just underneath, bottom left corner or whatever it is, or right corner. Hit that thumb button. Let's get this to 50. Do you think Chukwemeka... Oh, have we done that? Loads. Yeah, there seems to be a bit more happening now. A few more things coming to life. It will be a good move for him. If Maatsen wants Dortmund, he may. I mean, look, if they can't sort it out, he may well leave. I'm sure there's other clubs interested in Ian Maatsen. It won't just be Borussia Dortmund. There'll definitely be other clubs interested. There could, of course, be a link up with Jadon Sancho as well, whose return to Borussia Dortmund on a loan deal from Man United is getting closer. But yeah, look, Maatsen only wants to go to Dortmund. It's up to the clubs now to sort it out and agree a fee or agree what the obligation to buy is going to be. I presume the fee or the obligation to buy will be the same thing, whether he's bought now, whether that option becomes permanent in the summer. You would imagine that the fee is going to be the same. So they just need to agree on a fee and then agree whether it's going to be an obligation or they're going to pay it right now. That's kind of, excuse me, guys, that's kind of all that needs to be sorted in regards to Ian Maatsen. So yeah, let's wait and see on that one. But Ian Maatsen to Dortmund, guys, as I said, one step closer. That is coming one step closer, Ian Maatsen to Dortmund. Let's move on then to Conor Gallagher. Now, John Cross in the Mirror saying today that obviously Conor Gallagher is, I think we kind of know that Gallagher's not going to go, but Conor Gallagher is determined to stay and fight for his place at Chelsea, and he has even made it clear he wants to sign a new contract at the club. Obviously, we already know this. Conor Gallagher refused to go in the summer and is making it plain that he is determined to stay and fight for his place again. I don't think there's much that Chelsea can really do about this because at the end of the day, Gallagher's got a contract. He's playing. He loves this football club. He wants to stay. A, I don't think we're going to get an offer that's deemed suitable. And B, he's not going to want to go. So, like, fair play to Gallagher for this. You know, he's always been one of those that has got his head down, worked hard, and then made the most of the opportunities that have been presented to him. And this season, he's been fantastic. It's not his fault, as I've said before, that he's been playing better than Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo. You know, he's made that midfield position his own at the moment. And, you know, he's one of those that's never moaned about game time. He's always wanted to play for Chelsea. He's always wanted to, you know, stay and fight for his place. You know, he's never one to moan about his playing time. He gets his head down. He works hard. And when he gets given opportunities, he gives 110% to make the most out of them. So, like, it's no surprise that he wants to stay. I also feel that, like, any clubs that are potentially interested in him, they probably know this. So they're probably less likely to go in with an offer for him. But come the summer, it could well be a totally different conversation come the summer. It absolutely could be. There's no two ways about it. It absolutely could be a different conversation in the summer. But right now, it makes the most sense for Conor Gallagher to stay at Chelsea, sign a new contract, not only protect his value, get him signed up, and then see what happens there. Yes, big up, brother. Sergio Reguilon, no good. We don't need him. You know, I don't particularly rate him. This is a guy that is surplus to requirement at Spurs. Man United didn't even want him for the season, so they binned him off in January. Not good enough. Not good enough. So Gallagher's not going to go to Spurs, and I certainly wouldn't take Reguilon either because we're not necessarily desperate for a left back, and he is not good enough. Essentially, he's just not good enough. Simple as that in my view. But Conor Gallagher's going to stay and fight for his place, as we kind of expected to be the case. Let me just check if there's any more meat on the bones in the actual article itself. Let's check. Midfielder news of being arguably the club's best player this season, and yet remains certain. Tottenham are keen and are watching developments in what could be a transfer. 23-year-old is determined to stay and fight for his. He made it clear he wants to sign a new contract at the club. The situation is representative of things on Chelsea, as it has been full of ins and outs during owners Todd Boehly's £1 billion spending spree. Here's a player who is died in the wool Chelsea fan. He grew up supporting the club and joined them as an 8-year-old. Gallagher said he grew up idolising JT and Frank Lampard, and his own remarkable attitude epitomises what any manager looks for in a player. He obviously went on loan to Palace. Poch came in last summer. He's playing regularly. Let's have a look what else there is. Yeah, so this bit here, the issue for Chelsea is they might be able to get a big fee, although 60 million might be optimistic, and that Gallagher now only has 18 months left on his current deal. There is also a dilemma over whether he is at the level they want to get to in the long term, which is to win trophies and get back into the Champions League under Pochettino. I think he's certainly good enough of a level to get us into the top 4. Is he a good enough level to be a mainstay in a regular side winning trophies? That remains to be seen still, in my opinion. So at least Chelsea have a major dilemma, John says, and yet they have one of their best players wanting to stay. They know the backlash from fans would be huge because he's homegrown and represents the club's best tradition. So look, it is obviously kind of it is a tricky situation in that respect. Can't we buy Sancho? Well, we don't need another winger. We really don't. That's kind of the last thing we need is another winger. So no. Yes, big up my brother. Preferred striker for me is Ivan Toney. Knows the Premier League. I think his profile would suit us. Strong, physical, good finisher, good all-round play, link-up play, hold-up play, and crucially for me, knows the league. So for me, Ivan Toney would be my preferred signing. Gallagher will only get better and more consistent. Look, ultimately, we don't know how much better Gallagher's going to get, how much he's going to improve, but there's certainly something to be said, and there is a value for having. There's a value to having academy players in the squad. There's a value to having players like Conor Gallagher in the squad. They can be very useful squad players. You know, you sell Conor Gallagher for 50 million, you're going to have to spend the same, if not more, to replace him. You know, these type of players are very important. You know, what he lacks in talent, he makes up for in work rate and dying for the badge. Like, he's one of few players at the club that understands the DNA, the culture, what it means to be Chelsea. And you don't want to be left with a squad where you've got a load of guys that don't know what it means to play for the club. There's an important place for players like Gallagher in the squad. I'm not saying that he is going to be a mainstay in this side for years to come, but like, he absolutely deserves a new contract to preserve his value, and he deserves to be here for the rest of the season. That much is abundantly clear. Well, this will be the highest we can sell him for if he doesn't sign a new deal, because he's got 18 months left. As soon as you get to the summer with a year left, the value goes right down. He has to sign a new contract, and then his value is protected. Of course, you can look at it from the point of view, will he play this well again? Will he be in this good a form again? You'd like to think so, because he's only 23 years of age. But, you know, in football, nothing's ever a given. Do you sort of roll the dice on that, or do you try and get 50 million now and sort of go for it? The thing is, though, we turned down £45 million for Gallagher in the summer, and he's had an exceptional first half of the season. So you sort of think, right, well, if he's 45 million was turned down in the summer, then with the start to the season he's had, we're looking at least 55 million plus like January tax and maybe selling to a rival. You're then looking at it and you're thinking, yeah, this guy should really be going for in the region of 55 to 60 million pounds. And I know that might sound ridiculous, but I think there's very much a legitimate case to be made for that. That Chelsea should be looking in the region of for 55, 60 million pounds for Conor Gallagher this month, given his start to the season, given what was offered at the end of the summer, and given the fact that it's January. So, this is going to be an interesting one. I feel now that Gallagher will stay. I think there'll be too much uproar from the fans. I think Chelsea will look to sell other players, Chalobah, Maatsen, maybe Amanda Broja. So there's definitely, I think, other players that the club will look to sell. But I just think now, despite them wanting to sell Gallagher, he clearly doesn't want to go. So it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Toney could need the rest of the season to get back up to speed, and Brentford will take us. Solanke, good player. I don't think he moves the needle for us necessarily. Again, would be expensive in January. I just don't think he's doing enough to move us forward. I don't look at Solanke and think, yes, a good player and, could have an impact, but I don't look at him as being a main starter for Chelsea right now. I don't look at him as someone that would come straight into the team and make an instant impact and get us the goals we need. Yeah, sure, he'd score goals probably, but it's not the quality of player that, for me, that is going to make the big difference for us. Guys, what would make a big difference is getting to 50 likes minimum. We are now on 32, so keep smashing the like button. Keep smashing the like button, guys. Run it up. 37 in the building, only 32 likes. Come on, people. We need to get to at least 50 likes. So keep smashing that like button. It's free. It takes seconds. Let's get on it, guys. Let's get on it. Come on, people. I know there's loads of you in there lurking that haven't smashed the like button. If you don't smash the like button, guys, we're not going to sign anyone in January, and we might lose to Preston as well. You don't want that on your conscience, so smash that like button. But yeah, let's kind of move away from the Gallagher stuff, and let's move more into this Ivan Toney stuff. Chelsea needing to raise money to essentially sign players, etc. Let me just bring it up. This was via Miguel Delaney today. Let me just bring it up now. According to him, and again, I don't know how true this is. Yeah, help out, people. Help out. 42 in the building. 43 in the building now. Come on, guys. Run those likes up. There should be more than 33. Chelsea are willing to sell any of Ian Maatsen, Trevor Chalobah and Conor Gallagher, but realistically need to raise at least 160 million quid to go for Ivan Toney, apparently. Chelsea are looking into making sales in order to challenge Arsenal for his signature. Yeah, sure. I mean, look, I think there's absolutely some truth to this. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens. I know Thomas Frank has said that, they want to keep him. He's not for sale and it would take an incredible offer to get him. People need to understand, everyone's for sale at the right price. Everyone and everything has got a price. It just depends, is anyone prepared to pay the price? Brentford will have a number they want for Ivan Toney. And if someone pays it, then he will go. There's no such thing for me as not for sale. Whether a player wants to leave or not is another question. But in terms of bids being accepted, every club for every player has got a number pretty much that they would accept. So, look, it's sort of, you get mixed messages about this. You're like, one day you're thinking, Ivan Toney, that almost seems impossible. Maybe Osimhen's more likely. And then you get reports, thinking, well, maybe Chelsea will go back in. Maybe Chelsea will challenge Arsenal because Arsenal have kind of got FFP issues themselves. They probably haven't got the most money. They probably haven't got the most money to spend. So, like, if we can get some money together, get a package together where we can at least put something competitive or of similar value to Arsenal or of slightly greater value. Again, wage structure is going to be an issue. Look, I know Tony's really not on massive money at Brentford, but is he going to be wanting to come in on more than 150k a week of wages? You would think he probably is. So, yeah, it is tricky, people. I won't lie. It is a difficult one. It really is a difficult one. Again, look, Tony's age as well. I've got nothing wrong with his age, 27, 28 next year. But I think in terms of his decision making, like, this is going to be his one big move in his career. In all likelihood, he's going to want to make the right decision. In his mind, can he wait for a Chelsea side that is not the finished article yet? Can he afford to wait maybe 1-2 seasons, be 28, 29, maybe even 30, before we might be playing Champions League football, before we're competitive, competing for trophies? Is that something he's prepared to do? Yes, we might have Europa League football next season. Maybe we'll have Conference League. Who knows? We could even have Champions League. It's unlikely, but I just feel that if we're going to get ourselves together, we need to be in as good a position as we possibly can be in the league table, as close to those European places as we can, to make it as attractive a proposition as possible for for players like Ivan Toney. That is the reality, people. You know, we need to look as attractive as we possibly can to prospective players. It's all right for younger players. They've got time on their side. It's a Chelsea project, and whatever, they can afford to wait a few years. It's going to be a lot harder to convince the more established senior pros that this is the right place to come to. You know, that is a different challenge, and it could potentially be a difficult challenge as well. You know, are we prepared to break our wage structure for certain players? You know, we might not have a choice. We might absolutely have to do that. But I certainly, whilst it seems unlikely, I certainly wouldn't be counting Chelsea out of any potential race for Ivan Toney, even though it would appear to be unlikely at this moment in time. I absolutely wouldn't count out a move for Ivan Toney. I really wouldn't. Yeah, no, I hear that. And you know what? If Arsenal put a competitive offer on the table, then I think, you know, he would absolutely choose them, and you couldn't really blame him for doing that. You really couldn't. You couldn't blame him for doing that at all. Guys, 14 more likes. Come on, people. 40 in the building. Keep smashing the like button. It's free. It takes seconds. Please do it. It massively helps out. I prefer. Yeah. We need an experienced striker. No one's denying that. We must sign an experienced striker. That much is blatantly obvious. It's blatantly obvious. You know, we must do that. No one's disputing that. It's just the two players we're linked with. It's going to be very, very difficult for us to get either one of those guys over the line. It's just going to be tricky because January is going to be tough. You know, we're going to have to wait and see. January is a notoriously difficult time. Strikers are notoriously difficult to find. There's not many quality ones available. And particularly mid-season, they're going to cost an arm and a leg. They really are. They're going to be very, very expensive. So let's wait and see, guys. Let's wait and see what's going to happen on that front. But I don't think that you can fully rule out Ivan Toney potentially coming to Chelsea. I don't think we'll get a striker in January. Yeah, I sort of have a different answer to this every time. But I think if I was pinned down and had to give a definitive answer, I would probably lean more towards that as well. I'm not sure we will get a striker in January. Or certainly not our main striker. Maybe we look to bring in a bit of an experienced option on a short-term deal, or someone for cheap like a Serhou Guirassy potentially, although I think he's more likely to stay at Stuttgart for the rest of the season. Like there are difficult things to be done. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. It's a really difficult conundrum because at the same time, you know, you do not want us to bring someone in for the sake of it, but then can we really afford to wait until the summer? More clubs are involved for these players, and ultimately, more clubs are going to be in, clubs in better positions than us are going to be interested in these players in the summer. And if it goes to the summer, I just think we're putting ourselves in a much less likely position to be a success and be able to get these ones. You know, do you know what I'm saying? Like it's going to be tough. It is going to be tough. I just don't know what to make of it. It's going to be very, very interesting. I'm just not sure. But we're going to wait and see. We're going to find out. It's certainly going to be an interesting month on that front with forwards, but I wouldn't, hold my breath and get too excited that a forward could be coming in. Never say never with Chelsea and transfer windows, but I just think this is going to be very, very difficult to pull off. Very difficult to pull off. Realistically, it's going to be either Santiago Jimenez. I don't think it will be Boniface. Boniface has gone to the Cup of Nations. He's literally just joined Leverkusen in the summer. I don't think it will be him. Look, Santiago Jimenez is another one who's well, but again, it's another development striker. We don't need one of those. So we're going to find out a lot about these sporting directors, a lot about how we're 2 windows into a 4-window plan. We're going to find out a lot about where this project is going, a direction. by what we add this January. I think we will find out a lot if we're serious about adding some experience and making the team better, or we're just putting all our eggs in the young basket and we're hoping for the best to come of it. That ultimately is the reality here, people. So let's wait and see. Could get Gorkrez. No, Gorkrez for me, again, another one of these players was playing in the Championship last season. Clearly too good for that. Gone to Sporting Lisbon from Coventry. He's had a good first half of the season. But again, this is another player. The guy's had 6 months in the Portuguese league. He's put up some half-decent numbers. Why do people suddenly think that he's the answer to solving Chelsea's striker crisis when he's played 6 months in the Portuguese league? Like, it doesn't make sense, guys. Like that's not computing. The maths is not mathing on that one. Like it's not making sense. It doesn't add up. That how can we suddenly think that paying 100 million euros to Victor Gorkrez, who was playing in the Championship last season, is suddenly the way forward for us to go? It's an odd one. No, I wouldn't have thought so, because I think Brentford's stance is quite clear. So it'll be up to Chelsea or any other clubs to go and try and test their resolve with a competitive offer, put a competitive offer on the table. Let's wait and see. Absolutely got no idea. Obviously, there's always loads of work going on behind the scenes, but if players are going to come in this January, I don't think that many will come in. Certainly not in the first couple of weeks. Maybe the back half of the window, but I think certainly this first week, I don't think anything's going to happen. Maybe next week, a few things might start to come into place. But for me, I think we're probably looking at the last 2 weeks of the window as where we might start getting a bit more action. But again, it's very tricky to tell. It's very tricky to tell. So I don't have an answer to that one. But look, I think we can certainly do something. We can certainly do something. But I just think the business we need to do, and trying to do it in January, is gonna prove to be very difficult. We are 10th with no Champions League football again. No, I don't. Look, we are. But what I would also say is that we are a few points off 7th place. We're not a million miles off Europa League football. I mean, dare I say it? If we can go on a run, put some wins together, we could even move further up the table. So do you know what I mean? Like, we're not a million miles away. Let's just aim for Tony/Osimhen. If not for them, let's keep our money in our pockets. Yeah, look, I'm not for signing someone for the sake of it. Absolutely not. So if it proves not possible to sign one of these guys in January, let's keep our money, or let's do a pre-agreement like with Nkunku. Let's agree a deal for the summer, and they come then. Guys, 10 more likes to 50. Come on, people. Just under 40 of you in the building. Smash that like button, guys. We need 10 more likes. There's definitely 10 of you in it that haven't pressed it. So please do click the like button. It's free and it takes seconds. I expect this to be on 50 likes when I next look, guys. So please do run it up. It's free. It takes seconds. It's greatly appreciated. Medem Terani, look, as a short-term option, the thing is, though, what sort of contracts do we want to offer these guys? Like, do we need to have a third choice centre forward option? I don't know. Do you not use Nkunku as a forward and you go Jackson, you sell Broja, whoever your main 9 is, and you have another one? I don't know. I don't think you need 3 number 9s. You probably need 2 out-and-out 9s and then 1 other forward player that can play 9, i.e. Nkunku. So, look, I get it. Terani would be a decent option, but I just look at it and I think it's not something for me that I've seen any evidence of to suggest that this ownership and these sporting directors would potentially look to go down that route. I'm just not seeing that. For me personally, I'm not seeing it. So, but yeah, look, I think Taremi's a good player. The mad thing is, and I was chatting about this morning on the Chelsea Fan TV podcast, is that when you actually deep it and you think about it, Olivier Giroud still starts for us now. That's how mad things are. Like, Giroud would genuinely still start for this Chelsea team. And like, if we could find a signing like Giroud this window, then that would be a massive, massive help. The problem is, elite strikers are hard to find, and strikers are very difficult to find on short-term deals that are of the required quality. Like, for me, if you're going to bring a striker in on a 6-month loan deal, they need to know the league and they need to be ready to hit the ground running straight away. The problem is, if they're on loan, it means they're probably having a poor season, and they're not going to be ready to hit the ground running. So it's yeah, fucking hell, it's a really, really difficult one. I just don't know. I just don't know what to say. I just don't know what to say on that front. Yeah, look, this has been. I spoke about this the other day. Artem Dovbyk from Girona is not going anywhere. He's played for 2 clubs already this season. You can't play for 3 teams in one season, despite the fact you can be registered to 3 clubs under FIFA rules. You can't play for 3 teams in one season. So Dovbyk can't. The January move for Artem Dovbyk from Girona is a no go. Is a no go. It's not possible because he wouldn't be able to play for the club. Yes, big up, Darth. Hope you're well, brother. I mean, look, he's in form, but you say cheap alternative. He'd like Bournemouth would demand at least 50 million quid for him. So, I mean, how much of a cheap alternative really is that? And then what do you do? Like, you still want to bring in an elite level striker. Do we really want Jackson, Solanke, and a Tony or Osimhen? That's probably slightly overdoing it. In my opinion. I mean, look, Choupo-Moting again. Look, he does well at Bayern Munich. He's done well at PSG. He does get a few goals now and then when he plays, but this guy's not played in the Premier League for a while. And again, does he really move the needle? Yeah, he's a bit of a target man striker, sort of knows where the goal is, but does he really make Chelsea that much better for the second half of the season? Yeah, it's an alternative option from the bench, but I don't look at him and think, yeah, Choupo-Moting would make a massive difference to this side. And that's the problem. There's too many players. There's not enough players out there that would make a genuine difference to this side right now. The list is so short, and that's why it's so difficult, because there are not an abundance of these top-class centre forwards or guys that can come in and make an impact on a short-term deal around. Like, there's far more demand than there is supply for these players. So, yeah, I don't know the answers. I don't know what we do, but yeah, it's certainly not an ideal situation. Let's put it that way. It's not an ideal situation. Yeah, I think we probably will as well. I don't know if Broja will probably get a chance in the FA Cup, but other than that, I don't see him getting much more of a chance. He's flattered to deceive in the opportunities he has had. Yeah, I know, mate. Giroud was a mad one. We should have kept him. I think club will stick with Broja and Nkunku for now. Yeah, look, I think they'll stick for now. But again, Broja's one to watch as we get towards the end of the window. He's one that could become surplus to requirements 100%. Nah, bro, it's not saying he's 160 million pounds. Like, we'd have to raise that, and then because of we would need that money to help us get him. Like, it's not saying that Tony would cost 160 million pounds. It's just saying that we would potentially need to raise that money in order to help us fund a move for Tony. It's not saying that Tony would have cost 160. Bro, you say that, but like Man United are genuinely looking at that as an option to bring him in on loan. I mean, Werner's just kind of fallen off the face of the earth. You know, he went back to Leipzig where he done really good stuff in the first place. He can barely get in the team now. They've got obviously Benjamin Sesko. They've got Luis Openda. Like, he can barely get in the team. So, yeah, it's a crazy one, isn't it? It's a mad one. Like, Werner could potentially be playing for Man United. Then we should get goal-scoring wingers instead of a striker and let the front three rotate. I mean, I think we do have goal-scoring wingers. But look, it's going to be tricky, people. It is going to be a tricky one. I don't have the answers, but I think we can certainly expect some sort of movement. But I would kind of lower your expectations if you genuinely think there's going to be like a marquee striker signing this window. There could be, but for me right now, sitting here January 4th, I think it could be a massive problem. Like, I don't see it happening. Broja's not delivering. No, he's not delivering. He isn't, you know. And, you know, he's had he's had a couple of opportunities recently, Wolves and Luton, and he was dire in both of them. So, like, he's not making the most of his chances. I suspect, as I said, he'll get an opportunity in the FA Cup against Preston. Brother, you need to do something. You need to score some goals. I don't care, excuse me, if it's against championship level opposition. You need to go out there, put in a decent performance, get some goals to build your confidence and show that you can offer something to this team, because right now it's not looking like you can at all. Against Chelsea? I mean, yeah, it'd be ridiculous. I mean, Werner's not even gone to United, but look, there's a possibility he could do. If he did score the winner in a game, then it would be a madness. Morata is playing like prime R9. What is it with us? Yeah, bro, this is a good point. Like, you look at the list of strikers we've signed over the years, good, top professionals, right? Very good players. And yet the only stain on their CVs is Chelsea. And you're thinking, well, we haven't signed crap players. What is it about the way we're playing? What is it about the culture or the environment at the club which is not conducive to strikers doing well? Why is there always a struggle when strikers come to Chelsea? I don't get it. We have literally had, in the last 20 odd years, 2 good centre forwards, Costa and Drogba. The rest of them, we spent 50 million on Torres. He wasn't awful at all. He was okay. Nowhere near what we expected. Shevchenko, nowhere near what we expected. You know, Morata started well, and then it soon went to shit very quickly. Yet everywhere else these guys have been, they've scored goals and they've been top players. So what is it about centre forwards and the environment at Chelsea that is seemingly not conducive to success? Why is it so difficult for us to have a successful centre forward? Like, it's an interesting question, and it's one that I don't have the answer. I don't know if any of you lot in the chat have got an answer to it, but why is it that so many forwards have great success in their careers elsewhere, and yet the one place they don't have success is Chelsea? And I can't put my finger on it. Yes, big up, Jacob. In traffic, taking this in. No, I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. I hope that traffic is not too bad, and it gets moving pretty quickly. By the way, guys, we're 5 likes away from 50. Come on, people. Let's get this to 50 likes, guys. It's free. It takes seconds. Don't let me down, people. We need a few more likes on the board, at least 5 more to get to that 50 mark. And there's 42 in here. There's definitely 5 of you that haven't pressed that haven't hit that like button. So please do it. Obviously, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here as well. That would be greatly appreciated. On the road to 8,000 subscribers. Obviously, guys, if we hit 8K by the end of this transfer window, I will give away a shirt. So let's get people subscribed, guys. Let's get people subscribed. Hope it's not going to be going to that stage where Raheem Sterling's up front. I hope not as well, mate. We don't want that to be a situation that we don't want that situation to occur for anyone. We absolutely do not want that, because we buy the wrong profile of striker potentially. I don't think it's that we buy the wrong profile. I just think that we don't listen, and we don't do enough due diligence. Like, we don't think about what players. We haven't in the past thought about what a player's attitude is like. We haven't thought about how they're going to fit in at the club. We haven't thought if their attributes are going to suit the Premier League. We haven't thought if they're going to be able to play the style of football the manager wants to play. Like, we're not thinking about these things. We've just signed strikers because they're a big name and they're doing well, and we've not thought about anything else. We just chucked them in and hope it would work. Look, it's easy to mould younger players into a style of play, but when you're an experienced pro coming in and you've been playing a certain way for the majority of your career, it's much harder to get them to adapt to how you want to play. That's why it's imperative that you sign a centre forward that's going to suit your style of play. And we clearly just haven't been doing that. Don't think it's a coincidence that only Drogba and Costa have been the only ones that worked, both built for the Prem. Yeah, look, that's certainly a factor. We need a tall, strong striker. Yeah, I agree. Like, Tony, for me, fits those profiles. More players might want to move, considering Euro 24 is around the corner. Yeah, look, of course, if you're not playing in January and you've got an outside shot of getting to the Euros for your team, then yeah, you are absolutely going to want to go and play. You are going to want to go and play regular football. Of course you are. So there could well be some players available for loan, but at the same time, it's, as I said, it's a tough market, guys. It's a tough market. Lukaku could have been a decent signing, and he started so well, but he never wanted to be there in the first place. The only reason he left Inter because they couldn't say no to the money because of their financial situation. That's the reality. Like, Lukaku didn't want to leave Inter. He didn't really want to come to Chelsea, but he did because Inter needed that money to help them. So yeah, it's just an unfortunate one, guys. It is just an unfortunate one. But let's move on from this striker conversation. And let's just round out with a few other bits of news. And talking from experienced strikers, let's move to the other end of the spectrum. And of course, it wouldn't be a Chelsea transfer stream without news of the club looking to sign a youngster. Chelsea are trying to complete a deal for 18-year-old striker Milos Lukovic, who will then head straight to Strasbourg. According to Fabrizio Romano and L'Equipe, it's Strasbourg who are in advanced talks to sign Milos Lukovic. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about him. Let's bring up... It's clear this is like a blue co-signing, so he'll go to Strasbourg, and then Chelsea think he's decent and he develops well. Then they can obviously take him. That's one of the advantages of the multi-club model, is we've got somewhere to send these players. But, yeah, look, you get linked to these youngsters and you're just like, well... how much does it really mean? Because you've got no fucking idea if any of these guys are ever actually going to kick a ball for the Chelsea first team. It's just it's just part of some elaborate profiteering scheme. But I mean, let's get a bit more information from Fabrizio Romano on that. And he says that Strasbourg are in advanced talks to sign Milos Lukovic, talented 18-year-old Serbian striker. As L'Equipe called, negotiations progressing fast for a fee in excess of 5 million euros, 10 goals and 1 assist in 19 Serbian Superliga matches for Lukovic this season. Yeah, just another one of them, isn't it? You know, Bayern for Strasbourg. Let's see how he does there, and then Chelsea maybe might look at him at some point. But yeah, it's a multi-club. It's a multi-club model signing. You know, that's what it is. It's a multi-club model signing. Nothing more than that. Is it exciting? No, it absolutely isn't exciting at all. Guys, one more like to 50. Come on, one more person needs to smash that like button. We have 47 likes, so keep running up the likes, guys. It is greatly appreciated, so please do that. Our 21s have 3 strikers at least. One has to be look, Stutter, yeah, even David Washington's been playing in the 21s and he's been doing quite well there. So, yeah, like I don't. Maybe he'll get a look in this weekend, but obviously this guy's going to be signed for Strasbourg, and then maybe in a couple of years we'll potentially look at whether he can do anything for us. But I'm not really feeling it. I'm not really feeling it, to be perfectly honest. I don't understand it. I don't get it. It's not moving the needle for me. Like, what's going on? What's going on with this? Another one. DJ Khaled. Another one. Like, why? Why? Like, how many more do we need? We've got Datro Fofana. We've got David Washington. And we've got guys in the 21s. Yes, this is a Strasbourg sign, but it's clearly only happening because Chelsea have obviously got an interest in the player. But obviously we can't sign him. We haven't got enough loan slots and all that. So let's sign him for Strasbourg and see what he looks like. I get it. But yeah, it's not making much sense to me. It's not moving me, guys. It's not moving me in any way whatsoever. It absolutely is not moving me at all. Yes, big up to the Dearest Devil coming through with a €5 donation. Brother, greatly appreciated. Your support's always appreciated. Very generous. So yeah, thank you for that. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything's good, mate. But yeah, cheers for that. Greatly appreciated. Big yourself up. I mean, yeah, maybe it would. And maybe that's why we're signing so many players, because maybe one's imminently coming at some point. Who knows? But yeah, it's frustrating. It's not ideal at all. I mean, it's far from ideal, but you know, this is Chelsea these days. And like, there's going to be frustrating things like this. You see these players being, so I'm not saying that they're focusing on deals like this at the expense of focusing on deals for the first team. It's separate departments and recruitment stuff that deals with this. But like, it just still feels like, why do we need more of these guys? Why are we doing more of this stuff? It doesn't really, it's not making sense. It don't make sense. I mean, come on, guys. Let's get our head in the fucking game here, and let's just do something positive. Let's do something positive. But yeah, you know, looks like Milos Lukovic could be joining Strasbourg this month from the Serbian Super League. One to watch for the future, potentially, although we don't really know what that future might be. But let's wait and see. He could be a future Chelsea player in a few years' time, probably spend loads of time out on loan and never kick a ball for the club. But yeah, let's get excited for it, people. Let's get excited for it. Just a couple of last little bits to go through, guys. Before I round this one up, because I've got to pop out. Let's have a quick look. Just on the multi-club model, by the way. Chelsea's owners, Blueco, have had further talks and want to add clubs in Portugal, Belgium and South America to the multi-club group. I don't necessarily have an issue with that. We're obviously signing a lot of young players. We need places for these players to go. So it absolutely makes sense to acquire more clubs. And, Portugal is a great place is a hotbed for talent, as is Belgium, as is South America. So you can absolutely understand why these countries would be of significant interest to invest in as a club. You can absolutely understand that. So let's wait and see what happens there. Yes, big up, brother. Hello. Potential FC, yep. Bro, if you want to refer to me as King Charlie, you crack on. But yeah, no preferred pronouns for me. But yeah, you can even refer to me as King, crack right on, my guy. Yeah. So yeah, anyway, let's wait and see what happens from that. Obviously, we're looking for more clubs. I think a Portuguese club is definitely in the works. South American club, yeah, sure. Belgium club. I don't know if we'll get all three. I'm sure at some point we will, and you have like 4 or 5 different teams. That's kind of the plan. But yeah, this is something that needs to be pressed on with, because with the volume of, he plays for some Serbian side, like ITK Belgrade or something. How about an MLS club? I mean, maybe at some point, but I don't think that's the plan right now, as far as I can see. So yeah, let's wait and see. Yes, big up, brother. No problem at all. You can always catch up, mate. You can always catch up if you need to. But yeah, appreciate you tuning in as always. Guys, we're 4 likes away from 60, and I'm going to round this out in a couple of minutes' time. So let's try and get to that 60 likes. Really like last year, Johnny. Yeah, it was great for us last year. Loads of excitement, loads of players coming in. It's not going to be anything like that, but it could be exciting in a different way. Let's wait and see, people, on that front. Let's just check if there's any sort of news has come in whilst we have been discussing shit. In response to the sale of academy players, David Ornstein says Maatsen's future looks like it could well be decided soon. While we know Gallagher is one to watch. Ornstein saying, I don't see James or Colwell leaving for now. Well, for now, I mean, look, obviously not shocked at all. We know full well, and I've said it, like with the way these guys are moving, don't be surprised if in a few years' time they look at trying to sell Reece James or Levi Colwell. Legitimately think that. You're probably waiting for them to spunk another couple $100 million up the wall, and then we get briefings saying that XYZ academy player needs to go, despite the fact that they signed long-term deals. So, yeah, that's a bit of a worry, that sort of use of language. New sponsorship, I'll very quickly bring that up now, and then I must go. No, this one here. Literally, this is it here. Chelsea have agreed a new sponsorship deal with crypto company Bing X. Bing X will become the shirt sleeve sponsors for the rest of this season, and then training kit sponsors after that, and that's the logo there. I mean, not that much of a news. It's some sort of cryptocurrency, crypto firm or whatever. Yeah, I mean, no one really looks at the sleeve that much. It's some extra money for the club, and then they'll sponsor the training kit next season. That's kind of it. There's nothing more to add on that one. Nothing more to add on that one. But guys, I think I'm going to round this one out here. Big up to everyone that's tuned in. Appreciate it's an hour earlier than usual. Please smash the likes on the way out. A couple away from 60. So let's get to 60 as quickly as we can. Guys, I'll be back tomorrow. Definitely with a pre-recorded Preston preview and maybe live potentially, but maybe not. So stay tuned for that. There'll definitely be a Preston preview uploaded, pre-recorded video. So make sure you stay tuned for that one. Smash the likes on the way out, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Let's see what transfer news we get rest of today and going into tomorrow. Big yourselves up, guys. Thanks for all the support. Subscribe, likes, love. Peace out, guys.